32.25. Transfer news. Change that one as well to 25 as well, just so the timestamps make sense. One love to you lot tuned in, people across Twitch and YouTube. Very appreciative of such. Yeah, as I said, where should we start? What's this? Already talked about that one. There we go. Let's start now, people. For real. Here we go. Promises are promised. Keep running up the likes. Where are we at before we actually carry on? 231 people. Can we get to 300 by the end of the stream? I believe in you lot. Again, tab police, beer tabs. So we got to start. More tabs than a bro done just going through bar to bar, really. Arsenal planning 70 million spending spree this week as they target Manchester City striker Gabriel Jesus and Ajax defender Lisandro Martinez. Arsenal are ready to spend 70 million this week as they look to improve their squad. The Gunners are set to return with an improved offer for Gabriel Jesus. Ajax are demanding around 30 million for talented defender Lisandro Martinez, who allegedly is drawing interest from Manchester United. Ten Hag probably knows about him. That's a major attraction. They're also in the Europa League. I like us. Let's be honest, I don't want to praise United, but they're a massive club. Ten Hag with the rebuild. Spurs and Conte are building mad stuff, and Lisandro Martinez and his fellow countryman Romero could be brazy. At Arsenal, it does appear unclear. Is he coming to take someone's spot? Is it bad news for Gabriel? Is he coming to complement the side? What is he coming to do, really and truly? It is what it is. What I will say is, though, while I think we have improved defensively slightly, not enough to be a certified top 4 plus side, clearly. We finished fifth for clean sheets, mixed bag. I am now looking at Arteta a bit funny because 50 million on Ben White last year was all right, 30 million prior on Gabriel, same sort of figure for Saliba. My man comes in, that's 30 M's. Ramsdale is part of the defensive unit, that's about 30. We spent a lot of money on defense now. Every week we're talking about defenders, 30 million is not that much, but is he coming to take someone's spot? I don't know. Maybe it's more direct competition for Gabriel. I don't know, people, but yeah, obviously he can play other roles. Arsenal are planning a 70 million spending spree this week with Manchester City's Gabriel Jesus and highly rated Ajax defender Lisandro Martinez top of their shopping list. The Gunners were rebuffed in a 35 million bid for City striker Jesus, but are hopeful they can shake hands close to the Premier League champions asking price of 50 million. The Ajax Player of the Year, Martinez, 24, is attracted to Mikel Arteta's project. Hey, so that's a good one. Hey, come. You see what we're doing out here. South American stuff is going on. Primarily, it's Portuguese. Argentine dons are going to land soon, very soon. Couple of years. Julian Alvarez at City. Make sure you come around these sides. Things are happening. I'm getting gassed, man. I'm getting excited. I can't lie, man. I can't lie. That line gassed me, people. He's attracted to the project. I don't know if it's a Bandulu, but just get that over the line. With the Dutch club demanding around 30 million for the left-footed Argentine defender. And again, he looks like a baller still. Arteta, you need to start doing the Buki Wenger things, man. Like, I need to start seeing you remember when Wenger would sign players and it was Ramsey, Nasri, Cesc Fabregas, Ozil talks about like how, the timeline of what he's known as Wenger. Wenger somehow get these guys' numbers and chat to them. Start doing the Buki things, Arteta, man. He's probably on holiday with his family, on the beach. Someone just randomly FaceTime him and tell him about this thing, man. Things can go. We could do a get back. We signed a couple players. We could dream about 1-2 things again. Like, let's stay humble, Arsenal fans. Stay in our lane. But I'm just purely talking about having a decent club again. He would provide competition for places with Ben White and Gabriel. As I said, he could probably I think Dyer had a good season. Romero's there at Spurs. He could probably start at Spurs at left back if they don't get left centre half. If they don't get Bastoni. I think United need an aggressive centre-half. I like Varane, I think he's obviously going to drop a level when you're playing with clowns. Maguire is Maguire. They've been linked with Paul Torres, but if you get Paul Torres and Varane, it's a decent centre-half pairing. They're both ball-playing, but my own bias for a defender, I like an aggressor and a calm one, really and truly, and I think Alvarez would slot in there and play quite well. And obviously, he's got the fact that he's worked with their gaffer prior, so... I don't know if that one's going to go over the line, people. I don't know where actually that one's going to take us. But I guess we'll have to see. Gabriel obviously called certain fans ungrateful for getting onto Eddie Nketiah's new contract. I'm not going to focus on that. Big up Nketiah for getting his new deal, living his dream. IC3 getting paid. Hopefully you can get more of these rollies and whatever watches there on. Keep investing. I know these jeans are probably a handsome fee as well. Living the movie, could never hate, man. I'm not going to focus on that, man. Big up Eddie Nketiah. Most Arsenal fans, even if people that don't agree with this, salute the guy. With great power comes great responsibility, though. I don't really care about the number. Just you got to score goals. Not gonna focus on any of that, though, man, because it's big up Eddie. That's the positive, but not gonna focus on the negative. If you don't like it, it's happened, innit? Is what it is, people. In relation to how Gabriel Jesus, though, scrolling down this article, choosing that number might hint that Arsenal are leaving the number 9 shirt clear for Jesus, obviously with Nketiah becoming number 14, who's expected to leave Pep Guardiola's side. Guardiola, why the hell did it come out like that side after 5 years at 236 games? The Brazilian is keen to join Arsenal despite competition from Tottenham. Put the word out. Jesus, 25, played 41 times for City last season, scoring 8 goals and adding 9 assists. Come on, man. I wish that was a bit more healthier. But I spent much of his career in Manchester playing second fiddle to the likes of Sergio Aguero, who's had his own issues with Pep. I'm not going to lie. As much as I like Jesus, sometimes you've been the backup to no striker because no striker's been there. Certain man of do not false 9. Obviously they've just signed Julian Alvarez and Haaland. That's peak for Gabriel Jesus. Arsenal are also looking at Leicester midfielder Yuri Telemans. He remains a target, though Arsenal would prefer to get players out before signing the Belgium. No, man, before someone in Europe or something decides that, we've actually got a couple bob here, let's go and bring him, get it done, man. Question marks remain over Granit Xhaka's future. It wouldn't be an Arsenal summer or transfer period if it wasn't. He has been linked with Roma again, much like Torreira. I did feel his new deal last year was a sense of Arsenal saying, you know what, or maybe specifically Arteta saying, you know how much you're valued in the squad, in and around the club. I need you for one more season. If you still want to keep it moving beyond that, keep it moving. And I think that's the question now Granit Xhaka has to ask himself. He's got a young family. I won't quite say fans' relations have been built. 266 likes on YouTube. Appreciate that. But we're getting somewhere. I wouldn't really necessarily, I wouldn't begrudge you if you don't want to turn down playing under Mourinho. What I will say is Arsenal Football Club, to us fans, I'm not going to cap. Xhaka should not be playing week in, week out. Our midfield shouldn't be hinging. We should never even say the conversation that Xhaka is missing. That's why we didn't win. That's nothing to do with Xhaka because I don't think he's as good or as bad as people, his haters or his fanboys make out. That's just we're relying on meaty dons, really. Whether we like it or not, Xhaka is one of the first names on the team sheet. He's a midfielder. He's one of the only guys, give or take, that can pass the ball forward. Kind of where our problem is. Replace that before it becomes an issue because he's contracted until 2024. That means this time next year, provided nobody stays or whatever, Saka would have a year left on his deal. Beyond the obvious talk around them, Pepe has a year left on his deal. Marie, Cedric, Martinelli, Saliba, Granit Xhaka 29, contracted until 2024. I don't want to talk about next season before we look at fixing that up. You heard we almost got Telemans in January, and before that, you heard we almost got him last summer. If you add up the timestamps, Xhaka was looking like he was going. So is Telemans dependent on that, on whatnot? I don't quite think Torreira plays into that because Torreira's not factored in for next season. El Nene got a new deal. They're going to clearly give Congo one more opportunity before maybe loaning or whatever. We're bringing in, we're looking at other people. So I'm not too sure on if Torreira is relevant. Torreira is probably one of them from last summer. They said we're trying to move you on, whether that's signing for Fiorentina permanently or just busting out. So I don't really think his future necessarily impacts Telemans beyond maybe resources and all of those sorts of things, people. But nonetheless, question marks remain over Xhaka. Arsenal are also hoping to sell Lucas Torreira, who keeps getting linked with Roma and Lazio. The days keep every other day is linked with both the teams. Pepe is another one that could leave. He's got a new agent. He's currently on holiday. That's probably going to be a tricky one to maneuver because do you go for a dry loan and hope that he somewhat does well and then a year left on the deal next year you just take the pain and the pinch and just get what you can? Do you try and look for a loan with an obligation? Does it come down to how good Edu is at hustling? I don't know. That's a political one, really. For Pepe, you hope he forces the boat because you're not going to play. And to be honest, I think that's why we don't sign Rafinha because I don't know if Pepe is going to stay or go. Part of me thinks he's going to leave. Part of me thinks, maybe it might be because of wages, because of financing. He probably keeps it, stays, or maybe gives it one more opportunity with more fixtures being played next year. So it is what it is where Pepe is concerned. Leno is currently discussing a move to Fulham. Arsenal made their first approaches for Martinez in May. Ajax are braced for a £30 million bid for the defender, who was key in their Dutch title triumph. They conceded just 19 goals all season. So yeah, from what I see from a personal point of view, you understand defending. I didn't say if we could get someone that's a bit different, that just they can obviously ball play, but they understand defending. I'm here for that. But just like the Varane example I gave, you could be the best defender in the world. If you join a team that isn't switched on defensively, you're going to look like one of them, or your defending is going to drop off. Even if we got, who's the best centre half in the Prem? What, Diaz or Van Dijk? One of them off the top of my head. They would obviously show their quality if they signed for Arsenal, but they wouldn't look as good as they do in their teams currently. Why? A bit of it is ability, because we're not as switched on defensively as them, from front to defense, really. Our first defender is our striker, our first attacker is Ramsdale. There's been times Ramsdale's got the ball, we don't know who's going to get the ball in midfield and whatnot. Half the time it's too easy from the attackers. Looking at Newcastle away, they just brush past our players. So we're a well-engined unit, but these are things that make me, while it wasn't, I didn't think we would. I thought we'd maybe across Twitch and YouTube. Appreciate that. God bless you once again. Happy Father's Day to all of you out there. If you love your dad, hit the like button. And some of you, if you do my mom was like my dad on Father's Day, hit the like button for mummy. So yeah, we made our first approaches for Martinez in May. Apparently he's cool with the project, as we've seen in this article. Arsenal are also on the brink of confirming Fabio Vieira. He'll be their third arrival of summer arrival after Matt Turner and Marquinhos. What about that Austin Tusty guy, or whatever his name is? So it is what it is. This is just reiterating what's going on, people. So basically, everyone expects us to spend around 70 million this week. Whether these guys get their medicals and everything tied up, I don't know. So yeah, this article is just reiterating the same thing, people. Apparently, Mikel, in fact, crucially, Martinez would provide healthy competition for Gabriel and Ben White at the back. The pair started the majority of the Gunners League matches when fit last season, but with Arsenal set to play in Europe, Arteta wants to add more depth to his defence, with Rob Holding and Saliba the only other senior players in that position. I know the homegrown aspect probably caters into Holding, and we heard he's a valued member, but surely that's someone who he had interest from Newcastle, another team, someone that could be moved on potentially to get some finances for the football club, really and truly. We signed him for 2 million. We really would be struggling if we couldn't make a profit on that. Maybe a little sell-on clause, and maybe he wants to play more. This says it's unclear what will happen with Saliba, but Arteta was very specific in saying he needs to return. And if we did try and make our first approaches to buy Lisandro Martinez in May, that kind of makes you figure that Arteta is planning on a defense next season, assuming nothing happens, of £50 million Ben White, Gabriel, assuming we signed Martinez, Saliba, and then there's gonna have to be one more guy there. Maybe that's Holding. Maybe if you could sign it, in my opinion, if you signed the right back, then Tomiyasu might be able to be that quote unquote backup centre back option sort of thing. So yeah, we need depth, we need options, and obviously Martinez is pretty multifunctional based on what we see and read. So is what it is. 300 likes. I asked for that before the end of the stream to know that we're there before we're nowhere near the end. Thank you very much. First things first, people. I appreciate that. If you've hit the like button, big up yourself. Let's try and get 400. There's 800 odd of you locked in on YouTube as well. Twitch, you're out here, man. Apparently, somebody, I see one comment there that it's not coming up, but it says Saliba could count as homegrown. So again, yeah, maybe that makes Holding's role even more obsolete. Maybe that's something. I know, obviously, when I look at, for me, Xhaka, Holding, I think they could be moved on. In an ideal world, maybe you do upgrade, and I'd extend that to Pepe as well, beyond what I've said. But I do think there's more players that you kind of need to force the issue to get them gone. And, they're mainly the ones that are got a year left on their deal / out on loan, or you need to come to a conclusion on what you're doing with them, really. So it is what it is where that's concerned. Everton join the race for Zinchenko, with Arsenal and West Ham also keen, but Lampard could deploy him in his preferred midfield role at Goodison Park next season. I mean, Everton's a significant downgrade on City, but I can't lie. Frank Lampard's asking, gassing you to play in midfield. It's a bit like Steven Gerrard asking you to play in midfield. It would gas me. Or if I'm Tomori and Maldini has come and met me to sign for City and saying, I specifically want you, that's got to gas you. I don't think we're going to go for Zinchenko. I can't see us getting Zinchenko and Gabriel and try and do anything close to what we've been reading, purely because it's a lot of money. Again, if you sign Martinez, then unless Zinchenko is going to feature in midfield, which you'd be a rotation option that's trying to fight to get in, you know, assuming we didn't sign Telemans or Xhaka don't leave, I can't see it happening. You know, you might as well keep doing that at City. Why do you want to do that at Arsenal? Obviously, you get more game time here. We obviously know he's crossed paths with Arteta before. We know what's being said on the left back area. Again, there are moving parts. We might not get certain players. We might be able to buy a player. We didn't think we're getting a player we thought was a shoe-in, go somewhere else. This is why there's many moving parts. So I don't really buy the Zinchenko hype, especially as to what's been emerging in the last few days. But nonetheless, it is what it is. The latest on Gabriel Jesus, courtesy of a Google translated article. Arsenal reconnect with Gabriel Jesus and try to deal with Manchester City. The Gunners were the only ones to formalise a proposal for the Brazilian striker. The offer is 50 million euros, people. There is pressure from the player staff for the deal to have a positive outcome as well. So he wants to resume his future. Arsenal have resumed talks for the player in recent days and kept the offer made even before the end of the window. The idea is that the striker is the main reinforcement of the current transfer window. He'd be the most expensive name in the bull market. So yeah, there you have it where Gabriel Jesus is concerned, people. From one striker potentially coming in to one who's confirmed is actually staying. Eddie once again has signed a 5-year deal, people. He said he's he's obviously happy. Arteta's delighted. Shout out to Eddie and Nketiah. Arsenal, Barcelona, and Chelsea target Rafinha makes transfer preference clear, people, which we all know his wish is to go Barcelona, people. And the Brazilian is prepared to wait as long as it takes. As I said, this is clearly one that, even if he was signing for Arsenal, Chelsea, whoever, is going to drag. Barcelona need to probably get some players gone. There, you hear rumours they're getting Di Maria and Lewandowski, so there might be some resolution to be done there. Apparently, they're trying to sell Frankie de Jong, so maybe they need to sell before they could buy, which takes time. Again, if you've been waiting your whole life, a dream to sign for Barcelona, what is a couple of weeks in the transfer period? So I do hope Arsenal try and take advantage of any misgivings with Barcelona's financial things. I do kind of hope Barcelona are too broke to get him. And I do hope the London aspect of Mikel Arteta and Arsenal can convince him, together with him talking about potentially living in London and Henry, watching Henry and that. But it's probably a myth, people. And at some point, Arsenal and any other clubs are going to have to say, you're going to have to make that decision. Is there confidence, as we kind of shown, completely different with getting Odegaard over the line permanently and gambling went not maybe going for Maddison or something at the time? Do we now say, all right, cool, we like Rafinha, but there's someone else we should go for now? Or do we run it all the way to the window and prepare to take that risk? So he clearly wants Barca. As I said, I don't think we're signing Rafinha, but I didn't think we're signing Aubameyang. But apparently, according to Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona are not too worried about Rafinha potentially being lured elsewhere. Again, interest could be being drawn by everybody else, people, to drive up whatever he wants. I don't think he's going elsewhere. I don't think he's going anywhere but Barca personally. But I do like the idea of Rafinha signing for Arsenal. He has made it clear to his agent Deco, who played for Barca, was boys with Xavi, that his overwhelming preference is to join Xavi's side this summer and will hold off talking to any other clubs. Rafinha is so desperate to join the Spanish his time and wait as long as it takes for Barca to agree a fee with Leeds. Deco will travel to Barcelona in the coming week to speak with the club's hierarchy and see how far a deal is away from happening. Only if a move to Barcelona collapses will Rafinha then consider other offers, with the winger, yet to speak to his agent about proposals on the table from Premier League sides, with his heavy heart very much set on a transfer to Camp Nou. So again, that's one that's going to drag out. Arsenal need to, for me anyways, confirm Gabriel Jesus, potentially Martinez, Telemans, and then once you do the bulk of the business or the bulk of the planning, then the super player on the market like Rafinha becomes available. Why not? Or there might be a player that Arsenal or another club couldn't dream of signing becomes available. Hardly imagine we were a completely different team, but can't imagine we expected to sign Mesut Ozil when we did. Not that that's the only, it's the only example, but it is what it is. Arsenal are the most interested in signing Rafinha if a move to Barca does not transpire, while Chelsea are also attentive to his situation. We did previously hear Tottenham Hotspur, unfortunately, were interested as well, but it is what it is. So by all means, try and get Rafinha. I'm happy to talk about him day in, day out, because Rafinha is a player I like a lot. But pardon me, it's not happening, is it really? I think this article reiterates what's being said. Apparently, Laporte I saw something like this. John Laporta apparently has told Rafinha and his agent personally that don't worry, really. The president transmits to the Brazilian winger of Leeds that there will be financial muscle and that Barca is going for him, yes. The club reaffirms in its commitment to the international, to whom they reserve the role that Dembele occupied. So maybe if Osman Dembele was staying, then we'd have him, people. But I can't see it happening, really and truly. Apparently, João Laporte has entered the scene to direct one of the star signings of this summer. The president of Barcelona has personally taken it upon himself to send a clear message to Rafinha. Barca has already activated a financial plan that will allow him to sign for 5 seasons during the contract window. Barca has wanted to convey to the lead star that his hiring will be viable from an economic and financial fair point of view. Laporte reaffirmed to the Brazilian international that hiring him is strategic to go with Lewandowski. So far, the commitment of Rafinha and Deco, who is his rep, has been essential to keep this operation alive. So yeah, long story short, he's keeping it moving, in it. Apparently, the only thing that can really tip it is Barca dealing with their financial valuation, their financial structure and what's going on there, and meeting the financial valuation that Leeds United want Barca to pay, really. So yeah, it is what it is. There's a lot of moving parts. Apparently, they want to still sign Di Maria regardless. So yeah, man, credit to Rafinha, but that's dream chase. It's like a Lukaku thing. Once again, man said Lukaku. What's his name? Gnabry. Definitely not Lukaku. Arsenal were linked with Lukaku. I'm not even going to read that article. It's on this. It's on the other. You can't see, but it's on my other screen. That's how much I just haven't got time to speak about that. 355 likes, people. Could we hit? Obviously, 400. Arsenal could beat Barcelona to Rafinha transfer despite full agreement. Arsenal among the teams interested in signing lead star Rafinha, people. Barca must act fast or risk losing the race for lead star Rafinha. According to reports, Barcelona claim to have a full agreement with the player's agent on personal terms, but Arsenal could make their move if the La Liga giants cannot agree a fee with Leeds, people. So yeah, this article says the Camp Nou club are yet to stump up the fee Leeds want. Romano says the Yorkshire-based club would not accept anything less than 47.255 million euros for their winger, people. So we'll have to see. He claims Arsenal are one of the clubs to be back in the race for Rafinha, so Barca will have to act fast. Barcelona have full agreement with his agent Deco since February on a 5-year deal, but Leeds want 55 million euros. No plan to change their price tag. Barcelona need to be as fast as Premier League clubs are back in the race, including Arsenal, but no bid submitted yet. So Arsenal's interests are probably not anywhere near that yet. So that's that, people. Again, I don't know for these in the nose and things like that, but I have seen this Twitter handle sometimes. I don't think he claims to, and he seems to be quite reputable. Like I said, we can only take this with a pinch of salt. But apparently, Arsenal have had positive meetings with the agent of Rafinha yesterday. The player is keen on the move. His dream is Barcelona. However, that deal looks increasingly unlikely. Player would like to live in London. Leeds want 50 million guaranteed more soon. So we'll have to see. And again, I'm not saying that's happening or whatever. We're just purely speculating these things here, people. So it is what it is. And this is just talking about Overmars, and I mean, anything to say with that guy's name you don't really want to read, do you, people? So yeah, this is just committing the same thing. Granit Xhaka could block Arsenal from sealing Yuri Telemans transfer. Arsenal's failure to offload Granit Xhaka could cost them the chance to sign Telemans this summer, people, for whatever that means, which kind of quite separate to what we've been reading, people, really and truly. According to The Athletic, Xhaka's continued presence could provide a stumbling block, with Arsenal far more likely to complete the signing of Telemans should the divisive Switzerland international move this summer. Bit contradictory to what we've already read, but it is what it is. We know we're probably not going to get Aaron Hickey now, if I'm honest with you, people, but Brentford are to rival Arsenal for him. Reports of an imminent £18 million move that would take Hickey from Bologna to Arsenal could prove wide of the mark after interest is believed to have been stepped up from elsewhere in the Premier League, people. We could be signing, there is a reality where you sign him and someone else anyways, but I can't see us signing Aaron Hickey for 20 million. Upgrading the midfield in Telemans, spending 35, 40, 50 million for Gabriel Jesus, talking about Rafinha and anything else without that happening, people. I like Aaron Hickey a lot, but it just tells me that we're not going to go in for him, are we really? No one wants to hear that. I mean, I was just reading that personally. Arsenal submits second bid for Lisandro Martinez as Jesus offer rejected. Scrolling all the way down, people. According to reports, Jesus and Martinez could be the next two to walk through the door, with bids being submitted for the two prior to the weekend. The Daily Mail suggested that initial talks have taken place between Ajax and Arsenal for Martinez. Apparently, we offered 25 million in this article, people. That was rebuffed. Other clubs are interested in his services, and they're obviously trying to drive up the price tag. Barca are said to be interested, and Ajax believe his talents warrant a fee of around 30 million. So there might be something positive there. We know he's fairly adaptable, people. And apparently the transfer business might not stop there, people. Jesus is also wanted. Goals suggest that a 30 million pound bid for Jesus was rejected on Friday afternoon. Once again, we've held initial talks over a deal for him. We approached him in mid-May. And apparently they're willing to sell. They're willing to sell Tottenham target to Arsenal. So again, there's going to be a bidding war. Apparently, Bellerin is prepared to forego some of his wages to force a move away from Arsenal. This has said Arsenal would be interested in signing Bowen again, but West Ham are going to charge us an arm and a leg. If we can't get certain other targets, then we might look at that, people. Arsenal apparently are interested in Raul de Thomas. We hear this every transfer window now. Shout out to George Mendes because he facilitated the offer of Fabio Vieira moving to Arsenal, and he's set to pocket 10 million, 10% people, not 10 million, 10% of the transfer fee. Crazy. Shout out to the agents. Already spoken about that. Fabrizio Romano said Arsenal plan to push again with Ajax for Lisandro Martinez. He's a top target for Arsenal, as revealed by Ornstein. An initial offer has been turned down. Fabrizio Romano said he's been told the main priority for Edu these days is confirming Gabriel Jesus. So that means Telemans and Martinez are probably on the back burner. So where does that even put? Even though I think it's technical for many reasons, Rafinha or anybody else. Personally, I think if we don't get Rafinha, we end up getting Cody Gakpo just because it would probably be a similar sort of fee for this, clearly at two different stages in their development. But even with Cody Gakpo, would you want to really join Arsenal at this moment in time with a World Cup year where you're kind of a shoe-in to keep playing at PSV? Yeah, once again, people, we know where we're at with Rafinha. This is all some other transfer news that doesn't affect us. What's this? Speak about that 10 a.m. Don't forget, first live stream of Monday morning is 10 a.m. Then we're live at 11:30 a.m. across YouTube and Twitch. Then it's 4:30 for Football Manager. The under-19s Euro has started, people. I watched yesterday's, and obviously today England's playing. Then I think we're back in action on Tuesday. We will be doing watch-alongs on Twitch for that. We've been linked with Asensio again. I'm getting bored of these rumors, people, so I'm not even going to waste time on that one there. He's a decent player. Can't really buy game time at Real Madrid. Had injuries, so it is what it is. Apparently, Monaco have confirmed Cesc Fabregas is departing. Is it time to get the band back together? What's Nasri doing these days apart from Buki, BBLs, and that? Pause. Mesut Ozil's agent said he's going to be an esports gamer. Should have been doing that when you weren't allowed that training and that, people. I think this apparently Mikel Arteta's told he has already made Arsenal statement before Gabriel Jesus transfer, so that's not sticking to specifics. So we're not going to waste time on that. Let's see what Football.London has linked us with, people. Arsenal are ready to do everything to close Gabriel's deal from Man City. Meanwhile, Spurs are also interested in give it a try. Now you look focus on Richarlison and the man there. Arteta said he's got big plans for Eddie Nketiah next season. Hope so. We all know Rafinha's preference is Barca. Apparently, Chris Sutton claims Telemans' head has been turned. We've been linked with Raul de Thomas once again. Crazy. I don't think this is going to link us with anything new, people, apart from we're meant to spend 72 million this week. Apparently, Paul Merson says we should look at Ward-Prowse. Wouldn't mind that, but pardon me, can we do some wavier things than that? So there's that. Arsenal, people, pop-ups. Arsenal and Man United and Arsenal emerged for Roma star Tammy Abraham. Where's the piece for this? Scrolling all the way down, according to this report, both Manchester United and Arsenal are interested in signing Abraham this summer, but it'll be hard for them to try and pry him from Roma as Mourinho considers him unsellable. Apparently, he's happy in the Italian capital, and it's not in his entourage's interest to push through a move either way. As the longer he stays in Rome, the more his agent Neil Femmings earns. The agent signed a deal with Roma that sees him earn 400